Welcome to Classroom 2 Courtroom. Here's your host, Scott Benton.
Hey everyone, it's Scott Benton here. I'm the host of the Classroom to Courtroom podcast, where we help you easily transition from law school into your professional career as an attorney, and where we even make the practice of law fun. And today we're going to answer the question of why should I always celebrate my wins? Why should I always celebrate my wins? But first, let's define what that actually means. What are wins? So we know exactly what it is we're celebrating. Now, wins can be anything from the smallest achievement to the biggest multi-million-dollar courtroom victory in a long, drawn-out and contentious trial. But it's important to know that you're not just celebrating big wins that come along every now and again, because those big wins do come along. It's just that they don't come along every day. You need to understand that you're not only celebrating those big wins, you are also celebrating the small day-to-day wins, because celebrating wins in and of themselves is going to maintain, it's going to build and create momentum that is going to lead towards a positive spirit of growth and energized work in your work environment. And you want to create an environment such as that so that you and everybody else that works there has something that they're looking forward to returning each and every day. So you want to make sure that you're celebrating wins on a consistent and a regular basis, because sometimes it's easy to get stuck in that negative space. And this is probably something that you know just from your own day-to-day lives. Negative space is always out there, and you want to try to avoid that and not get sucked into that negative space. And especially when you're working with clients. When clients are coming in, a lot of times they themselves are already in that negative space. They're already there in that place because they're dealing with legal issues that they cannot solve. And it's why they're coming to you to engage your services, to hire you, to help them out from underneath that pressure that they're under. And a lot of times that comes with a lot of negativity that they're experiencing. So clients really need to kind of meet with you, somebody who's going to be in more of a positive space to kind of help counterbalance that darker place, that with your brightness and your sense of positive solutions that become the answers that they're looking for, and the very reason that they're going to want to hire you to guide them towards the victories that they're looking for and the goals they're trying to reach on the case that they are hiring you to help them solve. So if you're in a negative space yourself when you meet with clients, it just really makes it that much harder to build that real kind of important person-to-person contact that you have with somebody. You know, we've talked about this a lot in other Classroom to Courtroom podcasts, where clients these days, for whatever reason, they expect that services, legal services, should be really kind of provided for free. And that's a little bit of a byproduct of online kind of do-it-yourself law firms or law services. There's even AI that's come along, and that's kind of sent this message that legal services can almost be done automatically. You and I know that's not true. There are some legal services that people can figure out for themselves from time to time. But if you're under a lot of pressure and you have very limited time, it's probably best to hire an attorney and somebody that you're really connecting with. Because the truth is that while clients feel as if legal services should be provided for free, when it comes to working with an attorney in a kind of through a strong bonded relationship that they're connecting with, and that you're exuding confidence in their case, then that's something that is a service that they'll pay for all day long. They won't even question that. So this is why it's important to always keep yourself in a positive frame of mind. This is critical in the work that you're doing as an attorney. And so celebrating your wins, big or small, really becomes an important component of your day-to-day work. And celebrating wins, even when they're tiny, is going to allow you to consistently introduce that sort of positive energy into your day-to-day work that you're doing, because you want to stay in that positive headspace. Working as an attorney brings its own level of pressures to the work that you're doing, and so it is very easy to get wrapped up and pulled down into that negative space, which you really want to think about, and when you're sensing that you're going in that direction, you want to figure out a way to pull yourself out of it. And celebrating wins is one way for you to do that, to continue to create that positive energy, because it makes the entire firm more enjoyable for everyone to work at. It creates a positive environment for you and for anybody who's there. I'm sure you know that on Sunday nights, there's this point in the afternoon that comes along where you're beginning to dread going into work on Monday morning. A lot of people just kind of experience that. It's an unnecessary distraction that you want to kind of avoid. And if you're celebrating wins and you're making the workplace an enjoyable environment to be in for yourself and for other people, then when Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening rolls around, that dread of going into the office on Monday morning, it's just not really there. So yes, all of this is easily counterbalanced when you're putting your wins, when they come along, big or small, you're sitting down and putting those on your to-do list regularly. And you're putting that on your to-do list as an item, as a task that you are going to actively celebrate. And so the way that you celebrate a win is simply to talk about it, maybe in one of your team meetings, or maybe you have a regular meeting for your firm where everyone gets together, and this is where you're going to recount those wins. If you don't have a meeting coming up where you can discuss wins, if this can't really be expressed in a way that's in a group setting like that, maybe it's on a Zoom call or something like that, you can always go to another attorney. You can go to your senior attorney. You can talk about that 850 petition, for instance, that you filed. Maybe you've never done an 850 petition, or maybe there's some information that you've been able to get out of a deposition that you just had. It's really been sort of like a powerful piece of information that you've uncovered, maybe something like that. But there are really thousands of wins that you can identify. And by identifying all those many wins and actively celebrating them, it's really going to build your skill set. It's going to build your character. It's going to inspire others. People are going to see you as somebody who is building that pathway for them to realize their own accomplishments and to be able to shine a light on their own wins. And you're setting the stage, you're setting the table for people to really kind of identify their own accomplishments, even if they're big, even if they're small, that there is a culture of celebrating wins. That's just going to energize the entire office space that you're working in and make it a much more pleasant environment to go to and work in each and every day. And if you really want to accelerate your ability to build positive rapport with everybody in your firm, and you want to create a real special environment that's positive and that's energizing and that people look forward to going to every single day, then the key is that you want to celebrate the wins of other people. You want to not only recognize them in yourself when they come along, and you want to shine a light on those, but whenever you see that other attorneys, other employees, other people that you work with, when they've had wins, you want to make sure that you're celebrating those as well. And that's going to just put a lot, even more energy, at even 10x's the amount of positivity that you can create. So you want to see and celebrate your own wins, and you want to see and celebrate the wins of other people as well. Now, in addition to celebrating your wins and the wins of other attorneys and other employees in your firm, another way that you can celebrate wins, and remember, big or small victories, is with your clients on their cases. Now, sometimes clients can be with you for a long time. Cases can drag on for months and months and months sometimes. And those cases are going to have all kinds of ups and downs along the way. So when you have made some progress in your case, when you've moved it forward a little bit, you want to make sure that when you're talking to your client that you're acknowledging those wins, and you want to talk about those in a positive way to keep the case from really sinking into that kind of abyss. It has the potential to go the other direction and kind of move more towards a darkened space, because law cases, legal cases are, they have the potential for good news, but also bad news. So let's say that you got an 850 petition approved, or maybe there's some testimony from an expert witness that's come in that's been very helpful, or Maybe you, I don't know, you got like, again, you've just had a deposition and you had some really good information and revelations come out of that deposition. You want to acknowledge those. It could be as simple as you both happen to show up early to a courthouse for an in-person courtroom hearing. You want to make sure that you're talking about that and that you're celebrating that and that you're acknowledging that something good happened in your case. So, whatever it is, when it's something that falls on the positive side of the ledger, then you want to recognize it, because that's going to keep your spirits high when you're under a lot of pressure. And when you're working as an attorney, it comes with a lot of responsibility, and that responsibility can be pretty demanding. So making sure that you're consistently celebrating your wins is an antidote to any potential negativity. And it's going to be important that you're already celebrating the wins. So I hope that answers the question of why should I always focus on celebrating the wins. And you want to make sure that when those wins come along, that you're stopping what you're doing and you're sitting down and putting those on your to-do list so that you can make sure you actually celebrate them and that you check them off your to-do list. So when that does come up, you want to stop, put it on your to-do list, celebrate that win, and then move on and go on to the next task and start to provide your legal services. So you want to build that momentum. You want to create that positive energy coming into the cases that you're working on. And remember that celebrating wins really is probably one of the most important soft skills that you can develop as an attorney in terms of your work habits. Always sort of have that at the forefront of your mind. What can I celebrate? Where can I look for the positive? Where can we sort of say to ourselves that we did something good today? You want to find those moments and you want to celebrate those moments. So I hope that's been helpful information. I'm Scott Benton. I'm the host of the Classroom to Courtroom podcast. We're here to make the transition from law student to legal professional as an attorney as easy as possible, and to point out that the practice of law is fun. Now, if you like this podcast and you'd like to get notified whenever we post a new episode, you can go to our website. Our website is classroom2courtroom.com. That's classroom, the number 2, courtroom.com. You can leave us your contact information, and whenever we have a new episode that we're going to post, you'll get an alert telling you that the new episode is available. And if this is information that you're enjoying, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of all our newest episodes. And until next time, we hope you'll join us in making the world a better place, one client at a time. Thank you so much for listening, and take care.
Thanks for joining us on Classroom to Courtroom, the podcast designed to help launch your first-time legal career. If you have any feedback or ideas for episodes you'd like to hear, you can always find us at classroom2courtroom.com, where you can leave comments, ask questions, and even join our online community. And always remember, by becoming an excellent and confident practicing attorney, you actually make the world a better place. Now get out there and master the art of practicing law.